Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Thanks for coming to hang out. Today I just want to hang out and do some live conversation, talk about whatever you guys are interested in talking about. There's that new proposal for the Burning Chaos Legion packs that looks like it's going to pass later today. Then there's the DEC for Stones proposal. Also seems like it's going to pass, but that's early. Lux Vega is coming. Just a ton of different things. The chaos in the cryptocurrency market. There's a ton of different things to talk about. The rank season's getting close to the end here. We got 4.5 days left and I'm still in gold, so I got to push hard. Life's been wild and busy and things are changing, so trying to figure out what my live schedule will be like moving forward, because I want to do like a Thursday. I want to do at least one live event per week for the YouTube channel, in addition to the live event I do on Twitch with Splinterlands TV. But Thursday nights are no longer good for me. So at least 3 months, 3 weeks out of the month, Thursday nights are no good for me. And so, you know, I had time today and I thought I'd pop on and see who was out there and who wanted to, you know, come hang out, talk Splinterlands. So how you guys doing? Who's out there? Let's have a peek here in the chat. What do we got? Here, pop this puppy out. Oh. Man, this was chaos. I know every one of you felt it. And look at this bounce too. But is this a dead cat bounce? I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not selling anything. I don't know about you guys. I'm not, the crypto I'm holding. I'm, you know, I saw this funny meme on Mav chat yesterday. It was like, I think I might have saved it. Maybe I saved it. Let me have a peek and see if I did. Profits. No, I didn't save it. That's too bad. It was this amazing, it was like a reference to Star Wars, and there was Anakin, the grown-up Anakin, and he was with Padme or whatever her name is, and he goes, I didn't sell any cryptocurrency at the top this time. And she's smiling and she goes, well, you can always sell next time. And he just looks at her dead face like, not selling anything, not ever. And she goes, right? Like with the pleading eyes. And man, it's cracked me up. Because I just don't know that I'm ever going to properly exit this thing. Like I really have such futuristic views of where this could go, where cryptocurrency could go. It's so volatile, and most of the projects are going to fail. Maybe the ones I love are going to fail. But I believe in them, and I believed in them enough to buy them, and now I made my bet, and I'm going to lie in it. And I'm either going to hit a home run, or I'm going to go hero or zero, is what somebody said, and I like that. Butter, it's good to see you, bro. Leandro, hello, my friend. The caps are appreciated. It's like, hello, there's exuberance in that one. Appreciate you, Leandro. Dom, good to see you, buddy. And Bajan Bandit. How you guys doing this morning? I mean, maybe it's not this morning wherever you are. I know a ton of people are all over the world. And that's also why the evening live streams that I do on this channel are not necessarily optimized for everyone. It's kind of nice to switch it up maybe every few months or something, just to kind of, but I also want consistency. I want you guys to know where we're at, like when I'm doing it, and not be like, oh, you know, just totally caught off guard. I'm a huge fan of Melee Blue now. Like I've seen so many sneak plays with the blue team. If you've got some of the old beta cards, like you bring out the Elven Cutthroat and you bring out the I mean, between Bandit, Cutthroat, Uraeus, right there, that's like 9 mana, and it's nasty. 3 devastating sneak attackers. And the speed on them are all like very reasonable. Uraeus is not the fastest, but it's certainly not slow either. 4 speed at a level 5. This is not even a max. I don't think this is, actually that's max level for gold, I think. But like, look at the melee damage I can do with limited mana with this team. And now I'm not going to play this because of I don't think I'm going to play this because of Earthquake, but just like, you get the Battle Orca with the 3 damage, the 4 speed, fast, reasonable amount of hit points. Definitely bring the Bandit, bring the Cutthroat. Cutthroat can do even better. Like this is a level 4. It can get 3 melee pretty easily. Bring out the Uraeus. There's the Saber Shark too, another one that if you get a higher level starts doing 3 or even 4 damage. Like, look at this. We just essentially 6, 12, 15 mana plus your summoner. And you go like that if you want, because you got the Inspire. And everybody's going to have the 1 armor because of Kelia. So they're a little bit more secure. I almost want to protect my captain a bit more. Put him, the Erase in the back there, because he's my least, actually. But then the question is, do I have enough mana, or do I have enough hit points? And I probably don't, you know, because they're not all flyers. So let's pull a switcheroo. We want more resilience in the front. And then we need, I'd say, 1 more. Oh, you know what we could do? Where is it? This is tempting. No, I don't have enough for that. Dang. Gotta get it. Okay. And then, boom. And then 6. Oh, here we go. There. Now, the magic might be a problem. Certainly will be. But will we delete faster? If I don't kill quickly, I'm done. And he's got armor, so I'm a little bit afraid here. We would gut him if I had a magic resilient tank here, right? Because he's just a ton of vulnerable stuff back here, and this is his main. You know, he's got the void and the phase. But if I just totally circumvented him, but the problem is they're just gonna melt. They're gonna melt the Setherpod, and then they're gonna get all these squishy little melees. Eli, good to see you, brother. Yeah, look at that, just melting the my low mana monsters, my low hit point monsters, I mean to say. 7 diamond wins in a row. Wow, man. Good for you, Butters. What are they paying these days? What's diamond paying melee, or from a perspective of, we like literally almost pulled this out. Now if there was 1 more round, if instead of the that melee monster, if I'd put, for instance, the Onyx Sentinel in the first position, which had void and would have stayed alive longer, I think we win that one just by way of the earthquake. Yeah, what's diamond paying right now, Butters? Oops. And let's see. Blue sneak is nasty, absolutely. I like the dragon double strike sneaker too. The new, that one's a reward card, isn't it? Is that a reward card? I know which one you mean, but it's like a, it's not legendary. I think it's epic. There it is. Dampier Infiltrator. The only thing, this is so good. Like cripple, a double strike, the only way this thing goes down is if it runs into thorns, right? This thing is really nasty. I mean, on the right team, if you got like, presumably you put this in your 4th or 5th position on like a 40 mana match kind of thing, and it's going to be quite secure. It's not going to be a primary target for your enemy, even though it is vulnerable from an opportunity standpoint with only having 4 hit points. But if it gets left alone, and if it doesn't run into thorns, that double strike with the cripple is so nasty. Like somebody, I think it might have been Jim, or I forget who I was talking to, but I think it was actually Isaac from Time and Tension 3, and he was pointing out that cripple, one of the best things about cripple is really that even if you hit armor, you're still chipping away at that health. So if you run into a massive armored, for instance, the shield bearer, who's got like 10 armor, and then maybe 8 or 10 hit points, well, yeah, you're going to slap armor, but you're also going to be crippling. And that cripple is diminishing the total max healables for that monster every single time. This card is really, really good. I can't believe this is like a 2-cent card, frankly. If I wasn't so set on certain purchases right now, I mean, like, this is ridiculous. $2, right? No, I can't abide by this. This is not okay. We're gonna go like that. We're gonna just go ahead and snag those. Yeah, cards. Oh, card prices, man. Like, despite, look at the market yesterday. Hey, last 36 hours, the market's been absolutely meltdown. And I wonder if I put a poll out there, if you guys were, you know, if you were you scared or not? You know, was that something where you thought about like, is there something I could liquidate, or were you eager? Like, was there a moment, were you more in the position of, is there something I can sell so that I can buy, or is there fiat currency I can bring in? I don't know. I mean, to me, I had both feelings. I had at moments I was like, holy cow, this is bonkers, and this feels different than any other bear market moment, and that stirred some fear. But I don't let fear make my decisions. So I ultimately said, wow, you know, I came here for a reason. I believe in this blockchain. I believe in Splinterlands. I believe in, you know, the certain cryptocurrencies I hold. So I'm not going to be shaken by that fall. And then I became like almost, well, can I pull some money in to buy some things? And I didn't do either. But holding my ground and, like I said, just making my bed and lying in is kind of where I landed. Just going to close that out. Oh, sorry guys. Getting a phone call from Newfoundland, which is totally bogus. And I'm going to silence that puppy. Boom, boom. Okay. Mira says, I almost have a night. Jim, I didn't think you'd be awake, buddy. I figured you're like up till 5 in the morning every night and then you would be sleeping. So I didn't reach out. You should hop on, Jim. I'll give you a ring. Afternoon, everybody. Bobby's here, dude. I haven't seen you in a while. Butters, I knew Jim would find us still. I'm flying match to week. It's flying match to week. 2 week? Not sure what you're referring to there. I think the last match maybe. 1 to 4 SPS per win and diamond depending on ECR. Wow. That's really crazy, man. Like if you actually believe SPS could be $1 one day and you're earning 4 SPS per battle and you can do 20, 30 battles a day, that's really, really ridiculous. Now, most people don't think, they don't actually believe, maybe you guys do, but they don't actually believe SPS is going to reach that high. It feels impossible. It feels unattainable, but I feel confident it is. And I think if you just kind of, if the game's fun and it has a future and you just stack those things, first of all, it's no skin off your back. You're having fun playing the game. So just forget about what it's worth, but recognize that could happen. And if it did, while you're having fun, that's wild. I'm looking for deals, says Butter. Me too, man. I dry power waiting to buy DEC lower. Ooh, Dom, that would be the play, dude. Especially if you want the Lux Vega, right? Because you buy the low DEC and then you pull the trigger on the Lux Vega opportunity getting in the peg, or even if you want to get Chaos Legion packs, which has been peg opportunity forever, but that separation between peg on DEC is still an amazing opportunity. In fact, more so today than it was yesterday or even the day before, right? I'm going to give Jim a call here, guys. See if he wants to pop on. I was up till 5. I knew you would be. Eli, why'd you ignore my call? Lucas Fernandez, I'm getting around. Dom says I'm getting around 4 SPS per win in D2. Hold my cards. Hey guys, what's up? Dude, just hanging out, just trying to show some love to the community and make myself available. Don't often do the public lives. Often it's just for the members, but every now and then it's great to do like the public thing and just make sure that, you know, everybody knows that like this isn't just about me, like you know, yeah, I want to treat those guys special because they support the channel, but at the same time I want to, you know, show love to the whole community, people that have subbed to and liked and watched, and yeah. So I'm gonna give Jim a ring here, guys. Let's see over here. Oh, this brings up I'm in Discord right now, and this brings up a good point. I want to tell you guys that my main Discord, Infidel 1258, it was linked to a 2-factor authentication. That's through Google Auth, and that phone broke. And so now I don't have my 2FA for Infidel. And so I do still have access at this moment for Infidel 1258, but I don't necessarily have access forever. It's possible that would disconnect. And if it ever did disconnect, I don't want to lose essentially my Discord and all my community. So I created 1258.
second. I gotta adjust volumes.
Here, I can tweak you on my end. Say something?
It was more so sound-wise on my end for you because it was really loud.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, how's it going? How's the morning?
Good, man. Yep, just hanging out. I definitely thought you would not be up yet. I about a half an hour ago, I thought to myself, should I give Jim a ring and see if he wants to come on? And I was like, you know what? I'm an old man. I wake up at the crack of dawn and go to bed at 9 p.m. every night. But Morgan probably went to bed at 5 a.m. So let the man sleep.
Yeah, I think it was like 3:38 I went to bed. So not too bad.
Okay, hang on a second. I'm gonna go on to, you know what, Jim, I'm gonna disconnecting on this call you back on the other Discord where I can like manipulate, because I'm using web app right now. I want to use the application so I can tweak your audio. Okay, hang on.
Good.
Jimbo.
Hello.
There, much better.
Perfect.
Yeah, now I got you a nice good volume.
Right.
So, did you go to bed last night like 5 in the morning, or what was your story like yesterday? What have you been up to?
Yeah, so I was what was I up to yesterday? What was yesterday? Wednesday?
What was yesterday? I'm still that's a good sign. What was yesterday?
Yeah, so yeah, that's how you know I'm a real gamer, right? I just don't even know what days it is. And so yeah, yesterday work was cool. Got to mess around with the Pokemon cards again finally, and getting all that stuff set up. And but after work, oh man, the live stream was crazy. Next week, I'm doing a giveaway. I'm not telling anyone. I'm not telling anyone what it is, but it's going to be a good one.
Nice.
It's going to be a good one.
Love it. What? So.
All right, you guys want to know? I'll tell you if you want to know.
You know we want to know.
Okay, all right. So we were doing a pack giveaway last night, and I had the idea that, you know what I'm going to do? If this is a... Well, we opened the pack, and then we gave just the highest rarity card to someone, right? What, Dwayne? What did you just write in chat?
I think my YouTube's been hacked, guys. That's I don't know.
Okay. And so I gave away the highest card rarity, but I was also saying to people, because people were bringing up Kelia, and I'm like, you know what's a good idea? I'm going to do a giveaway of Kelia, but it's not a normal giveaway. I'm going to be burning a Kelia live on stream and giving away the DEC that I get for her.
Oh my god, you would too. That's funny.
So yeah. People were just like, people are doing a new hashtag, save Kelia.
That's hilarious.
And they're saying Kelia is not safe from the wrath of Jim.
Yeah. If Jim ever becomes a whale, he's got like hundreds of thousands of dollars in Splinterlands. He's just buying up the market of Kelia and just deleting them.
Yes, they're gone.
Just the burn pressure from like one player is just substantive.
Oh man, yeah. So it's gonna be fun. People were going crazy last night. They didn't want me to do it. So
yeah.
So be ready, guys. Next Wednesday, it's gonna happen. Be there for the giveaway.
Yeah. Oscu, good to see you, buddy. He says, love to see you 12. I've seen the pictures you uploaded on Twitter. Love them. Yeah, last night, guys. I went to a concert with my kids and my family. It was awesome. Went down to so I live in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. It's like the kind of the western, southwestern-most point of Canada, near Washington State, and we drove across into America, into Washington State, to a place called Everett, and we saw Hillsong United, which is like a famous Christian band, and then also Chris Tomlin, who's like a Christian artist. And I brought the kids. The concert didn't start until 7 p.m. I got them out of school, rushed home, got ready. Wife comes home from work, and then we drive 2 hours to Everett. Stop at Five Guys Burger. Got one of I don't know if you guys have ever, if you have a Five Guys near you, or if you've heard about it, man, that's a serious burger.
It is really good, but it's also expensive.
Yeah.
For what it is.
Yeah, no joke. But it feels real too. It's not like a frozen patty. It's not, frozen French fries. That's like a proper potato that they sliced up and then deep fried with good oils. And then they've got the unlimited peanuts and the really amazing milkshake. So we did that and then hit the concert, and I got this like really sick hat that I love and had a great time with the kids. Lumina fell asleep probably as soon as we walked in the door at 7:30 p.m. And she just slept through the whole thing. And then Hazel at 10 o'clock was like, just couldn't do it anymore. So we had to leave a little early, but it was a great time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at the post right now.
Bobby says I clocked in at 3 this morning. The working hours of some people just blow me away. Like, I mean, I've never done the night shift thing. I have my brother-in-law does. He's a longshoreman, and he'll work like straight through the night, and with heavy machinery and stuff. It blows me away. I don't know about you guys, but like I fall asleep if I'm driving the car on a highway at like last night at midnight. I can feel myself nodding. I can keep myself awake, but I just don't know how, like the high stakes of, like, for instance, a longshoreman doing massive cranes, lifting huge cargo, or for, a police officer or firefighter, some of you guys that are, work these crazy shifts to, do these very important jobs. It just blows me away. Jim the Kelya killer.
Yeah, that's what they were saying last night. Oh yeah, Eli was there.
Look what Gathering says. He goes, if I win, I'll buy it back. It's dare burn for but Kelly gold foil. You know what? Are gold foil Kelly's even like, are they that expensive right now? Jed says like, dare you burn them Goldie. Of course they're way more, but I think everything's pretty reasonable right now, isn't it? Let's see. Summoners.
2250.
I think that's reasonable. Now you need 22 copies of it, so you're talking probably $500 for a gold foil. I mean, it's not cheap. It's definitely not cheap. But this moment in time, if you're interested in really building a gold foil, like a really high level gold foil deck, there's never been a better time because of the bear market, because of the saturation of opportunities in Splinterlands. Like, I mean, Rift Watchers, Chaos Legion, Land, there's now the TD and the GLG. There's so many things pulling our community and distracting us, like, over here, 5 different ways to go. Our dollars, our community and cumulative buying power is being split and spread, allowing some of these cards to be lower than they ultimately will be, for sure. That's not only will they appreciate because they're being burnt and leveled up, but they will also appreciate because some of the options will just start to disappear, and then the cumulative buying pressure that's available will focus in on what's left. And I don't think that's going to be these guys exactly. But my point is that I do think that right now they're probably lower for those two reasons. And if you want a gold foil deck, it's like an interesting moment.
Another funny thing from last night, I was also saying if it was a gold foil Kelia, I'd be burning it regardless.
That, man, every time I'm always blown away by how many cards are burnt. In the old days, I would look and see, and you think, who's burning these things, man? And I know at times the DEC was worth more than the value of the card, and so it actually made sense at times. But it's like, to me, it's like defacing a piece of artwork. Like, there's like, it's like going into the Louvre and like throwing, soup on a famous painting, which I heard like somebody did like last week or something.
Yeah. There were like some 2 people that were against oil. So like they threw tomato sauce on an oil painting and like super glued themselves to the wall.
First of all, they super glued themselves, so they are like literally idiots. And second of all, And second of all, like, how does that accomplish your aim? Like, if you want to, you know what I mean? Like, if you have a target, if you have a goal, if you feel strongly about that topic, there are things you could do to move the needle. That's not one of them.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but it's definitely not smart.
Yeah,
is what we'll say.
Eli, the concert was amazing, dude. I've seen Chris Tomlin one time before with my wife, like years ago. Energy level's amazing. He's such a professional and amazing live performer. And then Hillsong was like next level. The energy was crazy. There was probably, I'm going to say 6,000 people there. I don't really know the count. It was a small-ish stadium, but it was mostly full. And I feel 6,000 to 7,000 is probably where it was at. And it was wild. Like everyone was totally into it. Jim's card should be fire team.
What virus is in here now?
Oh, Lucas says, sent you some bat tips, Dwayne. Uphold does not support my region anymore at the moment, so I can't trade it for cards, unfortunately. And thanks for introducing me to Brave. Dude, appreciate that, man. Lucas, thank you. And I still am collecting my bat, and I just like store it away for now. But like every now and then, over the time I've been with Brave Browser, guys, if you don't currently use it, it's one of those things that helped me understand that your time is worth something. Like I used Google, I used Facebook, I used Instagram, and then, you get nothing out of it. And then I started discovering cryptocurrency and blockchain and Hive and Splinterlands and then Brave Browser. And you start to realize, oh, they can actually pay me something for using them. And it's not unlike your regular world. You guys know this already, but I'm preaching to the choir, but it took me time to recognize this. Like, you get points from shopping at a certain gas station or a certain shopping store. How can they give me points? Well, they can give me points because they have margins of profit, and they're willing to kind of split a certain amount of that because they know my businesses, they want to attract me. And I love that Brave does that, giving you that opportunity to, even if it's trivial and in kind of amount at first, you're going to use a search engine somehow. Like, people use the internet every day, so why not use one that's going to give you some sort of even minimal rewards? And then over the years I've been using it, there's at least a couple times I bought. One time I can remember for sure, I bought $100 worth of Bitcoin with it. And other times I don't know what else. I couldn't tell you how much, but I feel as though maybe like a couple $100 over 2-3 years or whatever it's been, which, I mean, it's free. Five Guys is fire. Yeah, absolutely, man. Butters, I got the large fry with my burger. So me and the family, I get one of the bacon cheeseburgers, which is actually a double patty. The thing's as big as my face. And then I get like a regular cheeseburger for the wife and Hazel, and like I chop that puppy in half for them. It's more than enough. And then we get one large fry, which the bag is like exploding with fresh potatoes, perfectly fried and seasoned. And we got a salted caramel milkshake, which was, dude, it was next level.
Nice. Every time I get the burgers from there, I'm just like, why is this so small? So I don't know what kind of burgers you guys have over by you, but like the ones by me tend to be small.
Dude, when you're at least 20% larger than me in like height and size. So I mean, I'm like a young boy next to the Captain Morgan over here.
Oh, dude, I did a trivia question last night, and I'm like, all right, this is going to be an easy one. And I'm like, how tall am I and how much do I weigh? And it took them 10 minutes. It took them 10 minutes to figure it out. I'm like, guys, I say it every day.
Jed says Shaq owns a bunch of Five Guys branches. I'm not surprised. That feels like that's on point. Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, that dude is Five Guys.
Yeah, he is. That's a dude that's big, man. Like, I've never seen him in person, but I've seen him beside people, I watch and enjoy, and it's like he makes them look like small children. Like he's a different creature.
Yeah.
Gathering, I work second shift, 3 to 11 Eastern Standard. Yeah, that's one I have done. I turn on at 4 p.m. and I'd work till midnight. And that, I don't love that, because I feel like you don't really have a morning, like a full, good, proper morning. And you got, if you're up during the morning, you're probably dealing with traffic anyways. Cause like if let's say you woke up at 8 and you're going to do like, you're going to go shopping and you're going to go see your friends. Like, first of all, most of your friends are working. Second of all, you're dealing with traffic and the busyness of the day. So you don't even have that advantage. Then you kind of, the prime hours of most people's day, you're working. So I like doing it only when they'll give you a financial benefit, usually like a bit more wage or whatever. But those overnight ones are the ones that always seem just absolutely crazy to me.
My favorite thing about Shaq is like when you start thinking about a bunch of like rich people, and if you ever see them in person, they tend to be pretty small people.
Yeah.
Right. But like in your brain, you're always looking up to them. Right.
Yeah.
And it's like when you meet or if you see Shaq, you're literally looking up to him. Yeah. And mentally and physically. Mm-hmm. And the dude is just so smart when it comes to business. And like for him, he was able to get percentages of these companies that he would do work for.
Yeah.
And like that's the way to do it, man. Like just own a bunch of random stuff if you can, or be a part of a bunch of random stuff.
Yeah.
If you're able to.
That's the thing, like putting your, I guess being
so smart,
being willing to like try different things and to get involved in like more than, like basketball was his thing. He could have just sat on that and had money in the bank, or frittered it away over years and years of just like sitting on those laurels. But instead, yeah, I've heard him talk about business and some other people too, like 50 Cent. I'm not a huge, I don't like his rap exactly, but I like hip hop. But smart man, like he got involved in I forget, like vitamin water before vitamin water was cool, and like really blew up. And there's a lot of guys like that too that really come to mind. I mean, even say what you want about Kanye. Kanye is definitely he's a bit off his rocker, but like wholly visionary and like getting involved in like fashion and like more than music, just recognizing that like your one thing isn't necessarily going to be your everything, and being able to, it's a smart play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bobby, it's not actually we do have it in Canada, Five Guys, but it's there's very few locations, and that one was, I drove down to Everett, Washington to hit that place. And let's see, kind and giving soul. Shaq is a kind and giving soul, says William. I don't know much about him exactly. Need more people like him in the world.
He does a lot. He does these every like interview that he does, or I guess not every interview, but he'll bring up to where whenever he goes out to like Walmart or Target or wherever it is that he's going, he always buys stuff for other people.
That's
at
like
least one other person he'll buy something for.
It's them. Like Mr. Beast.
Yeah. Mr. Beast is a different kind of animal. Yeah. Holy cow.
Yeah. Shaq is funny too. Like, do you remember he did like maybe you guys are too young, but Shaq did a video game, like I think it was called Shaq Fu.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he did a video game in like the 90s. It was, I think, for Super Nintendo, and it was kind of like a Street Fighter type vibe, I think. I don't really remember it a lot, but it was not good. Oh, and I see
it wasn't good.
I see. Did you like it?
I don't know. I literally have never played it.
Yeah. Virus and Spike said that those paintings were protected, or Spike Coon said it, and Bobby.
The one that I saw, it wasn't protected, but they were saying they were able to clean it up perfectly fine, so there wasn't a problem.
I mean, I don't have anything good to say about that sort of behavior, so I'm just going to step away from that conversation because it honestly makes me angry.
Yeah. And Shaq Fu was on Sega and Super Nintendo.
And I think it might have been like, it wasn't actually a Street Fighter vibe. I think it was actually like a kind of a side-scrolling platformer, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was a fighting game, so pretty much Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat.
Oh, okay. I've been slowly buying up some Riftwatcher cards. I have 1.3 million DEC right now. I had 1.5. I bought 200,000 worth of stuff in the last few days here. Man, I am I don't want to spend my DEC because and let's talk about this. I don't want to spend my DEC, but the problem is it's just there's so many good purchases. Like that's the trick. I don't want to spend my DEC because I want to hold it for the new man. Trying to build this team and say words is hard. Let's go like this. Let's go like that. Yeah, that'll work. There. Boom. I'm trying to save my money for Lux. And that's the thing I wanted to talk about. One of the things I wanted to talk about. First of all, I think Lux is going to be amazing. And you guys know I feel that way. And Jim, I know you feel that way. Mm-hmm. I've been just like crunching the numbers because of all the volatility in crypto. And it just strikes me that like it's really going to be quite cheap. Like you look at $1,000 price tag for the regular. Mm-hmm. And even if you were to buy $1,000 worth of DEC, right, that would be at this moment, if you bought it today, you're talking about $750 to get $1,000 worth of DEC. That's right there. It's not $1,000. The card is $750. But then if you have if you have the smarts to buy 500 vouchers using Hive Engine, you're going to spend 20 cents per voucher. You're going to get 100. You're going to get 500 vouchers. That's $100. So half the price is actually $100. So now you have, you're up to $100 and you paid for half of it, and you need $500 more, and you could spend $350 essentially on DEC, $375 on DEC, and $100 on vouchers. You're talking $500 to get it. But then also, if you went to Splinterlands, Splinterfest, then you have a $300 voucher. So it's actually really really inexpensive. And it depends, even if because you're talking again like a neutral monster summoner, one of its kind. I think really powerful and exceptional in what it's going to be doing, and playable at every time you play the game pretty much. And so, yeah, man, I'm super eager, and I'm really hopeful that I'm going to be able to buy 3. That's my plan.
There's one thing I'm kind of upset about Lux for, though.
Tell me.
It's that we found out the non-foil to gold foil percent upgrade isn't 4%, it's 2%. So that means there's only going to be 40 on secondary marketplace. Which my numbers I was utilizing was for the 4%, and they're being 60, which was 50% more. So now there's going to be 33% less. So now I don't know what I'm going to be able to get a gold foil Lux for. If I'm even able to get a gold foil Lux. I don't know. I have no idea.
What were you imagining that how are you, walk me through how you were thinking the numbers were, even if you don't yet know the rethinking of it now that there's different numbers.
Yeah. So, all right. If we were talking about the DEC that you would need, right? So you need 3 million.
$5,000, right?
Yeah. So it's $5,000. Let's say I was able to get the voucher for like $1,000, right?
Okay.
Or someone is now selling the Kelia for $4,000, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So we do the 5 million DEC minus the 2 million, go down to 3, and then you can take that number, multiply it by 0.00078?
75.
75. All right, yeah, let's say 75. So then you're looking at $2,250 in DEC as of right now.
So $2,250 worth of DEC, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And that's not even including the vouchers to then bring that down. Which
now, can you stop there for a second? Because I need to probe something I don't fully understand. With the voucher side of things, I know at the lower level with the regular foil, you're allowed to use 500 vouchers. Is that all you're allowed to use?
So on the lower side, you actually can't use 500 vouchers.
Oh,
all right, my bad. You can't use 500 vouchers if you have the token, the coupon code. So it takes the cap down from $1,000 to $700, and then you can use vouchers for 50%. So you can use 350 vouchers on the first one.
Gotcha.
I think you might be able to still use 500 if you don't have the coupon,
Yep.
but I'm not entirely sure.
I think the answer is yes, because I heard them say in the town hall you'll be able to use 500. But I think what you're saying makes perfect sense because it's half. They said half,
Yeah.
and they said 500, which to me jives with what you just said.
Yeah. So then we could also look at 1,500 vouchers for the gold foil Kelia, which let's say 25 cents for each one, because I'm sure some people bought them up at 25 cents. So we're looking at $375, and then we could take the that 300 or that 3 million, which is the 2250. Take that divided by 2, and then add the 3750 on top of it.
So you lost me, but do you have a number in mind?
So yeah, let me go ahead and pull that up. Plus 375. So like the bare minimum that you could get a gold foil Lux for, if you paid the $2,000 for Splinterfest, is $1,500.
1,500 for gold foil if you had the voucher.
Yes.
See,
so if you didn't, and I would have to spend $1,000 on the voucher, then it would be $2,500.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and do you think it's reasonable to imagine that you would get a $1,000 gold foil voucher?
I think it's reasonable, because you don't get any of the other perks that came from the Splinterfest, and not to mention there's a lot of times where if you're buying something from someone and it's more of just a discount code, then like if they want to cash that out, if they're not planning on buying it, getting 50% of it is 50% to 60% is a good return rate on it.
Yeah, I hear you. Interesting point though, and caution to anybody listening to Jim's thinking here, and caution to you, Jim. Like it's just a coupon code, right? Like you're just getting you're getting a number that you can input when you buy.
Yep.
But
it's not an NFT.
But your seller, like the seller who's taking your $1,000, is going to take your $1,000 like today and give you a coupon code today, and they could keep that coupon code and try and beat you to using it. You know what I mean?
Yep. It's definitely possible.
So you definitely want to only work with somebody you like explicitly trust. The idea that you'd go into Discord and just figure this out with some rando is a terrible idea, because they could certainly, I mean, they might treat you well and they might screw you. So guys, be totally cognizant of that fact. It's not an NFT. It's a number that anyone could try and use. And if they use it before you use it, that thing's done, and you've given $1,000 or whatever the price for that voucher. You've surrendered that value without the opportunity to use that product. Aga's here. Hey, buddy. Hopped on the wrong account. Good to see you, pal. He's got his little. So he pulled the Rooney. I didn't know that you bought one. Aga, we were talking before you got one, and you were trying to figure that out. I can see on your little logo that you got one. That's cool. Let's see. So 2,500-ish.
Considering getting one.
2,500-ish versus probably 500-ish, like for a regular foil. If my numbers that I looked at were in the right ballpark, like hang on, I guess you'd be saying, like, let's say no voucher. You're spending probably on the regular foil. You can use 500 vouchers, I think, and that's $100 today. And then you're gonna need $500,000 or 500,000 DC. Which at current price, let's see, 500,000 times 0.00075, so 375. So you're talking 475 to get a max level regular foil with no voucher. But then if you had $700 card because you did attend Splinterfest, meaning you have a $300 voucher, then you have half of that goes away. Hang on, $375 or $350 goes away, costing you roughly $75 because you've got the vouchers. So you really need, what you need is 375,000 DC times 0.00075. You need 281 for your DC, and you need probably, I mean, this is rough, but I'm going to say $75 more for the vouchers. So 356 if you have a voucher for your regular foil, or 475-ish if you don't. Would you rather have 5 regular foils or 1 gold foil? Like from the rental perspective, the resale in the future. it seems like this is the regular foil might be the better, not saying better card to have, but the better kind of the cheaper entry point because of the impact that vouchers can have on it and how cheap vouchers are. Because I think you just said you can use half your value on the big boy too, can't you? The gold foil for vouchers.
Yeah, so for vouchers, you're able to put into like either 1,500 or I guess 2,500 vouchers.
Deepers, dude. Would that be so many vouchers that you would move the voucher market? That's another thing to think about, because if you needed to acquire that many vouchers, you could suddenly, let's see, the sell orders. No, there's plenty of vouchers here at a relatively reasonable price, like 1,400, 200, 300. Yeah. Exciting, man. I hope you get it.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking, dude. It's so much money.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely is. I can't see that being cheaper though. Like, does that gold foil legendary neutral summoner, one of a kind, come out of them beyond and launch on the market and then be less than that on the marketplace? I don't think so.
I think so. If we're talking about just like the 20 that people make, right? I don't see it really happening. But I want to say around like the end of the week, month, or the week time frame where you can no longer make any more of them. I think so, because that 2% that people make it from the non-foil, I could see it. Yeah.
There could be some selling pressure from those people who got lucky, you mean?
Yeah. Exactly. So I could definitely see, and I've made the argument, like, if say you make one for $350 and you make a gold foil, it's like, would you be mad to instantly get like 3.5K or even 4K, right? Like, because that was the number I've been wanting to get one for around.
Wow, dude.
Like,
oh my goodness, if I pull a gold foil.
10x.
Yeah.
To instantly get a 10x on your stuff.
Yeah, you got to take that. Here's the thing, even if you love that gold foil, if you bought it for $400 and it 10x to that 4K market value, let's say you could liquidate it. Let's say there's a buy order. Here's Lux gold foil and it's selling. There's a buy order in there for 3,500 USD, and you bought it for 350 or $400 USD. I say you got to take that, even though I want that gold foil, even though I think it's a great long-term hold, even though it'll set you apart in brawls and whatnot. I would argue that's such a massive increase of the value you put in that it just makes sense to then, unless you're already totally set in every respect for Splinterlands, which no one is, I'd say that 10x in your value could just be liquidated and unlock. You're going to be able to buy a regular foil and have $3,000 left over, maybe 2,500 grand, depending on what the market for the regular foil ends up being. You're going to be able to buy that regular foil back from somebody. You'll have the card to play with, not regular foil, not gold, but still. And then you're going to have 2,500 or $3,000 to work with in filling a ton of holes, buying Riftwatcher packs. Who knows? Like, whatever you want. Land is looking juicy again, I'd say. That's the thing I'm really looking at.
Yeah, it's at like what, 150 right now?
177, which to me, man, if Lux Vega wasn't squarely in my sights, this would be where I'd go.
Yeah. That's the one thing I think people don't really realize, right? It's when Splinterlands is hanging that carrot in front of you and everyone's looking at the Lux Vega, right? Mm-hmm. And everyone has their eyes set on it. Go look at the rest of the market that is also important. Like, look at SPS. Look at licenses. You can get a license right now, secondary market, for $1,100. Yeah. That's cheaper than what we were getting it for during pre-sale.
Yesterday, they were $900.
Yeah. Yeah, with the big drop.
That's the thing, guys. Like, these are all priced in Hive. So, one, Jim's right. You need to be cognizant of the fact that when there's big market moves like there were yesterday and the price of Hive is falling, you can have these amazing opportunities. Because why? Because people list things for sale given a Hive amount that they're happy with, based on a market price that existed 2 days ago. And then the Hive price moves dramatically in a 12-hour period before the seller even recognizes it, maybe. and then the hive they've asked for, 3,400 hive, could be suddenly worth half of its US dollar value. And then you, a brand new investor, maybe you move fiat currency into hive right then and there to take advantage of those amazing sales. If you're coming from fiat into fresh crypto, those are moments like, and that's why you see these massive green candles. It's not because the card sold really for like that much more money. It's actually the hive. This is a hive chart, I think, right? And like how many hive it sold for. Yeah, this is based on hive, and therefore when hive is so volatile, you get these like massive candles down or up, because the number of hive being used is changing radically. And even, is this what's that deal? That's like 3,400. Yeah, see, it's about 1175. I'd say that's like an amazing deal, but you know, there's a half dozen amazing deals that I want to take advantage of.
There's a lot of stuff. It's just try to find what it is you're looking to prioritize and go for it. Like branching off and aiming to get a bunch of different things is definitely good, but it also runs you very thin. But you're going wide rather than tall on a few things. Yeah.
Osky says, I got my 500k DAC earlier for 00058. Vouchers at 21 cents per pop. Now I just need to get one. I expect them to sell in an instant. Me too, dude. 700 copies with a 2% gold foil drop rate. With all those mechanics that I just talked about, the voucher discounts, the DAC discounts, there's really no reason why they shouldn't all sell immediately. Like, one, you're getting a great card. Two, that great card could be a lottery ticket into a 10x because of the gold foil opportunity. You got a 2% chance of that? That's a good chance, man, for considering it's already a good card, and you, I would argue, should like it for its utility. You should like it for the discounts around peg from voucher, peg from DEC. So it's a great buy, I think, and it's an important card. So even if you don't get that gold foil, it's a great purchase at the price. But then you can get a 2% chance at gold foil, which is like a free lottery ticket. But he goes on to say, I'm a bit worried because many seem to plan to buy 2 to 3. Yeah, I think for sure, dude. I have 2 vouchers, so now I did say I'm gonna give one of them to Dark Star from Time and Attention. He's been a real help, and he asked me a long time ago if I would pass on one of my Splinterfest vouchers. So I'm willing to sell him that one for cost, like the $300 purchase price. I don't want to, but I promised him I will, and it's his unless he can get in there and buy one himself. He's gonna try just like you are, Oscu. He's gonna try and buy one from the market. Hopefully he gets one. And if he does, then I'm going to use both of my vouchers, and I'm trying to get a third one. I don't even frankly know how many I can afford. I haven't really crunched the numbers, but like I said earlier, I haven't written it out, but I have 1.3 DC, and I bought a ton of vouchers the other day. Let's see. I'm up to 1,600 vouchers. So I think I could probably buy 3. I can definitely buy 3, but I might be able to buy 4 because it's actually 375 vouchers times 2 is 750 vouchers plus 500. That's 1250. No, I don't quite have enough for 4 in terms of vouchers, or probably in terms of DEC. And it'll happen too fast for me to kind of make a last minute call on that. But the cool thing is with my vouchers, I could try and quickly buy 2 from the market. Just come in here. I could go to the shop. I can go to, where is it? Not Rooney. Promo. And I could buy theoretically 2 from the market. And then I still have my 2 vouchers, which I can and will use if they aren't being given to Time Attention user. So 3 or 4 would be what I want. And rental costs, my multiple accounts, all of that, and plus the opportunity to get that gold foil. Oh, there's Isaac right there. I was talking about you earlier, dude. What are you doing? He says, "Oh, just hanging out, man." hanging out, talking Splinterlands, and right now Lux Vega, but there's just so much to talk about.
I didn't even realize my mic was muted.
I thought you were just being a good listener.
I don't even know when I muted it. Wow.
8888 says this game changed my life. That's cool, dude. I definitely agree. Bobby says orbs are around $20 last I checked. I wanted to buy some, but I'm not sure it's worth it. I mean, the orbs have some cool cards, don't they? I actually forget what's in the orbs. That's the dice.
Orbs are the promo cards.
You're right.
That have Pegasus, because I pulled the Pegasus.
That's right, dude. Now, it's not all promos, though, is it? It's not like...
No.
Yeah, what's in there?
I don't know exactly what's in there. I don't think that there's a way to check.
Yeah, that's cool. Because you're... That's really neat. I remember when orbs were still for sale, and every now and then I think they gave them away, too. Like, I think I earned some through my chests back in the day. I forget exactly, but I'm pretty sure that was so. It's wild to think like some of those cards are the best cards in the game and they're just being handed out. That's the man. If the crypto bloodbath is not over, and if you're still thinking, I think it might be over, but maybe I'm just being optimistic. So take that with a grain of salt. But let's say it's not over. That's where even more opportunities like that would just happen, where we saw licenses sell for $900, where we saw land plots reach down to, I think, 150, like Jim was saying.
Yeah.
Those moments are going to happen when there's a real instant bloodbath in crypto. And so if you're paying attention and if you have fiat currency, act quickly in those moments. If you have a vision and a plan for more investment, be attentive to those moments, because they do happen sometimes. And don't say, "Oh, I'll do it later," because you move from licenses move from $900 to $1,200 in the last 12 hours ish.
If you notice something and you think it's just like stupidly good, you can't be waiting.
No,
I've done that a few times where it's just like, oh yeah, I'll wait a little bit, or oh, I think this is a really good idea, but like, what am I going to move over to it? And then I don't, and then of course it goes up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like listening to your gut feeling. I know for some of the new people that might be difficult, but like if you've been in the space for a little bit, you notice these trends. You do notice them.
Mm-hmm.
And so just like maybe start acting on gut feeling a little bit more.
I like that advice.
Not financial advice.
So, aim true. Everything's going to hit. I don't want to try evasive, but I also... I think I'm anticipating a melee play, because even though blue's available, I think I'm anticipating a melee play from my opponent because of the aim true component. But then again, right now I'm renting Ruler of the Seas. You know what? Even though I want to do essentially a melee play, I'm going to personally go this way. So there. Get.
Oh, that's another thing. Did you stake your GLX tokens?
No, I haven't.
No?
I didn't know that I didn't know that I could.
Yeah.
It's time?
So, yeah, we're able to now.
There.
I think they set it up yesterday.
How about like triple heal, tons of armor, put the Albatross behind the ruler in case there's a sneak play. He'll have armor and like 1 hit point. I've got triple heal, so I don't need all the healers, but I'm really counting on Ruler of the Sea. I don't have a triage though, and that could hurt me if he brings any magic reflect. I don't have a lot of damage output. It might make sense to go to get rid of that one and go even there or there. Thoughts, Jim? I got 3 mana to spend, and let's see.
3 mana. Ruler.
Ooh, this could help. Another blaster.
So you're
stun.
going very sustained based.
Yeah. Oh, you know
And
what?
hoping that Oceanus doesn't just die.
Let's oh, you know what? You can go like this. Triage. So I've got a cleanse if they make me not heal. I've got 2 heals. And I've got the, what's it called? The thing that makes me only take 1 damage if I get hit by big. Yeah. Oh, we're good. He's got a bunch of little
bunch of sneaky boys, huh?
2 low level though. And he's not ready for the magic.
Oh wow. Oh yeah. Yeah, he's done. You're done, dude. You're done.
That's the thing, like late season, this just happens, right? There's no, I mean, I've got 4 million power and I'm still in gold. And it's just because I haven't been playing. But like Buddy's been grinding, I bet. And that's why he's able to, with this sort of deck, make it to this level. Yeah, man. I think that makes me think what just happened with Not So Perfect is like a kind of one of those examples of why the changes around the card leveling requirements would be an improvement over collection power, because it opens the door for guys who have like a really non-existent fire. There was a lot of choices there. Remember, you could have picked fire, water, death, and there was one more. I forget what it was, but there was 4 different possible, fire, water, life, and death. And this was the best team he played. So my point is, he probably only has, dragon and earth or something, and he's in gold too. So guys like this are going to be able to, climb as high as they functionally are capable of doing so. And yeah, the rewards are going to be in some ways nerfed, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to be worse. Especially if you're really as good as like a lot of people think they are. You're going to be able to climb into higher levels where you get higher rewards, and yes, you're getting a slight discount on those returns, but I think it's going to be better. That's my expectation. Maybe I'm wrong. Gathering says, I think Untamed packs are a fantastic long-term investment. Me too. Mario, sup champ? Good to see you, brother. Spike Coon, if I had a $900 available yesterday and not locked in staked SPS, I would have bought a node yesterday. Yeah, man. If I had fiat currency, I would have done it. Well, I do have fiat currency, but like literally 2 days ago, I spent $1,000 on, what did I buy? Well, I moved it into DEC into DEC into vouchers, actually. So I mean, like honestly, my value has, I bought my vouchers at 24 cents. It's gone down to 21. I bought my DEC at 850 Splintoshis, and now it's 750. But knowing that I was buying peg assets that I'm going to use in the use of buying, getting, or honoring that peg value, I was okay with that like possibility, and I was not okay with possibly missing a low, what could have been a low at those moments. Kind of makes me want to unstake some and put it into liquidity pools instead in case this happens again in the future. Yeah, I mean, that's a play. BJY, well, thoughts on rating inflation? A comment in your video, but I don't get a reply. Let me see. So from what I gather about the topic of rating inflation, it's like the fact that we can climb, like just by playing a lot of games, you can climb and climb and climb and climb due to well, one, there's like the matchmaker isn't always optimized, so you sometimes get put against somebody who's way higher than you, and you can get lucky beating them, which can give you like a 70 plus RP. And then second, win streaks can happen even on a bad account. You can have win streaks, and then those win streaks actually multiply your rank rating and allow you to grow in this net positive way just by throwing teams out. And this is why I think some bots are able to hit higher levels simply by playing more matches. And they're not better. Their win rates are like, relatively unimpressive, but they play so many matches that they're able to do that. That's my understanding of rating inflation. If I'm off base, I'd love to first know that. But I've talked about that, and I think those are real things, even if that's not what quote unquote rating inflation is. And And I think those are concerns. I think there's something wrong with the kind of the matchmaking system. I don't know how to fix that, but it, to me, feels like what I just said is happening, and it feels like it's a problem, but I don't know how to fix it. And so that's my thoughts on at least that idea, which I thought was rating inflation. Have you ever heard that before, dude?
Yeah. I think who was it? I think it was Steve that was going ham about it the other day. And he was talking about how it's like kind of ridiculous. And MavChat was even going over it, which, you know, to get 10 for beating someone who's a lower rank than you, yeah, like that does combat the rating inflation. But then like you just lose a bunch. So if you lose to that person as well, so it combats it. But then he was also talking about how there's no one up in Champion 1, which I didn't think was correct. Or is that tend to be something that's like end of season people are up in Champion 1?
Yeah, there's very, very few people up there. Now, I don't know how many. I think it's in the like dozens, or like it's in the tens, it's not in the hundreds.
Oh, there's not a single person in Champion 1 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you need 4,700 for it. Wow.
I need to level up my techno-wizologist. And I saw a comment from William earlier. He was talking about some of the betas are cheaper than some of the Chaos Legions. I definitely think that there's a lot of room for that. And you guys, I definitely think you want to pay attention. I think that's part of like what I'm starting to now go bargain hunting again. And I've been starting to... Oh, I want my Beetle Queen with the Inspire. That's at level 8. And it's because it's gold. I can't get it. But what was I saying? Talking about things. Talking about, oh yeah, deals, bargain hunting time. I really think that now is a good time to start that conversation, to start looking at what's out there, and to start pulling the trigger on some purchases, or at least putting some market orders. Because I think I'm pretty convinced that some of these prices are not going to get better. I think they're going to stay the same maybe, but I think now for me, it's like time to really get serious about some of my card acquisitions. Like this is a point I tried to make earlier, but didn't properly articulate. The market melted down, but what happened to your card prices? I mean, my account is
the same pretty much.
My account's the same.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a good thing, right? That I said this like a year and a half ago or something, or whenever this is one of the topics I broached many times, really, when the channel started blowing up. The idea that Splinterlands is kind of insulated from the bear market, not perfectly. You know, you saw these cards be worth even more, right? We know that some of them were ridiculously overpriced, and we've seen significant falls. So it's not perfectly insulated, but we are in the depths of a bear market, right? Like we saw Bitcoin go from 21,000 to 16.5 in a day. And most of the altcoins lost 10, 20% also in a day. That didn't happen with card values. And yet there's so many purchases and opportunities and things, like we said a few minutes ago, things that could grab your money and distract you. But yet these cards have reached, I think, a bottom. And then William says, you know, he's noticing some of these betas and stuff be like better buys, better, you know, a return for dollar investment than some of the modern Chaos Legions and whatnot. I think that's a product of that idea that we've only got so much money collectively, and we're kind of focusing in on modern cards for a reason that you've mentioned before, Jim, right? You've talked about how you want to be modern focused. You don't want to be loading up on cards that are going to rotate out from the modern league soon. Makes sense. I actually like that strategy. But if the opportunity rises where everyone's saying that, then you see modern reward cards and modern Chaos and Rift Watchers be disproportionately priced more value, higher value, dollar value because of that choice and that interest. And then you can actually see the lack of buying pressure on the other end, where if you just said, well, to heck with it, like some of these betas are so cheap, I'm going to just start fighting in wild. That could be a possible option. And you kind of want to look at those things and weigh it for yourself. But that's maybe what William's noticing.
One thing I do want to add to that is, yes, this is definitely where my mind has been, but also before, it's like I'm looking at what else is going on in the game. So if I notice, and I'm super down to play wild, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I do love the idea. And but if I notice there being that shift to where it's like everyone is now trying to sell out of modern, and I'm just like, I guess I can go into wild format, because at this point, talking about price to get into it is just now a lot lower. And so this is my first initial plan A of, okay, let's just pay attention to modern. But if something happens, I can instantly shift my mindset of being like, hey, this is now what I need to do, because this is where the market is directing me to go.
Yeah. And and being open to that, like as things evolve.
Yeah, I'm definitely open to the idea.
Yeah. Guys, I saw let's see what we got here. 35 concurrent viewers, 37. Let's see some likes, guys. We got 11 right now. Let's see some likes, please. And thank you in advance. And what else was I going to say? I saw a quick question from 88 quadruple 8 says, you think it's worth the climb in both modern and wild, or only one? I definitely think you want to focus on one. And I think I heard somebody say, it might have been Steve, somebody who I respect, said they will play their regular season in one league that they like, and then there will be times where they reach the threshold that they desire. If for you that's gold level 1, you make it to gold 1 after grinding for the first 10 days. And then maybe for the last 5 days, you spend, or 4 or 5, or even 1 day, you spend grinding in the alternate league, so that you can give yourself opportunities to keep earning, to keep learning the game, to keep having fun. If there's ever a moment where, wow, the other league I don't usually play in is really paying huge, you have that versatility to move over because you've put in that work to kind of sustain. But don't try and focus on both. That doesn't make it much sense. Can we win this? Let's see. He's got more speed. This opportunity monster is gonna be annoying. He probably is going to stun me, and that will be really problematic. He's got the blast. I think we're in big trouble. He's got the repair, and he's got armor. So I don't know how we do win this unless my blind just goes ham and nothing lands because he's blinded. So I need to RNG out if we're going to get this one.
So looking at chat right now, and Chris kind of brings up a good point. Do you think Untamed loses value when it gets rotated out of Modern? I think it definitely loses some utility.
Does Untamed lose value when it gets rotated out? Untamed. Yeah, I mean, I think necessarily loses some value. Dang, I was hoping for one miss. The blind hasn't done anything for me yet. If we missed that one, I could have nuked the Flame Monkey, and then maybe this is interesting. But whoa, that could have been wild if the 11 just ended up dodging. Yeah, I mean, of course it loses some utility, like you say, but I think wild is always going to be an intriguing conversation. And so, I personally believe older cards, betas, alphas, and, Untamed is going to be part of that in the near future. Are always going to sustain value. Now, is Kitty going to still be $4,000? I don't know. That kind of is an interesting question. That was part of why I chose to sell my Kitty, because one, I felt it had maximum utility in that moment, and I still love it. I still want it, but it had maximum sort of desirability from modern and wild users. Plus, there was no other 2-speed summoners, and just knowing how the game grows and you get more and more card options, it's just there was always a possibility you would see another +2 summoner, speed summoner, and then we did. I got lucky in that respect. I didn't know, and I don't know if that really even hurt the price, to be honest. Seems to me like Jacek didn't do too much for Kitty. Kitty still. So I think, long story short, I think Kitty probably, and I think Untamed, generally speaking, hold their value, because I think Wild is always going to be a draw. Plus we have land and all the the commitment of cards to that. Look, the price is higher than I sold it for. So
hey, this is actually a perfect setup. So we have a bunch of people in here, and we're talking about random stuff. We're talking about Kitty right now. And last night in the stream, someone brought up how Kitty was the best summoner in the game. And I know Kitty's really good, right? But I don't think Kitty's the best summoner in the game. What do you think?
I mean, it sounds like a pool. Start a pool. Best. Who are the candidates? Let's go there. Best summoner.
So for me, right? I brought up Valnamore, and like some people in the chat thought I was just crazy for thinking that. And I'm like, Kitty's great. Kitty's amazing. But when we're talking about how much burst damage you can put out, Valnamore outparses Kitty.
What about what's that magic, that dragon one that does plus?
Archmage Arius?
Archmage Arius. Who else? Would there be one more option that really is in that conversation?
I really don't know if I would throw anyone else in it.
I want to see if there's anyone, like, does chat have any? Let's see.
If someone says Kelly, I'm banning you in the chat.
Plato is definitely a beast.
Yeah, Plato's really good too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, or you know what? I feel like Lux Vega could get in this conversation. I don't know that she technically is, like, what she offers is like among those others, but it's that neutrality that is, and that ubiquity, the amount you can play her all the time, that puts her in that conversation. So let's try that.
So one of the reasons why I even bring it up right now is because the tough stuff is in the chat, right? And I kind of was using him as my argument as to why I think that Valnamore is, just... I know that these are at 1 and 2 for me, right? I think these are 1 and 2. And it's arguably, or you can definitely argue, one of these guys being better than the other. And I think it's a really good talk.
Yeah.
And I used the tough stuff because in the tournament, like, he swapped from the Grandmaster Wraith to Valnamore. Yeah. And he destroyed Shunapoon's Kitty lineup. Yeah. Just destroyed him. Yeah. And like, yeah, sure, we can bring up, it depends on the rule set and blah, blah, blah. But I don't remember there being too crazy of rule sets in there. And the amount that, the utility that Kitty provides is, yes, very strong. But when Valnamore can keep up with the speed control that Kitty gives, because it already gives the +1. But now Valnamore is giving so much more damage output to your team as well. And the Kitty doesn't give that extra damage output.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure where I feel, to be honest, or where I land on that, but I'm not entirely disagreeing, for sure. Like, at the minimum, I can see the point. How do I feel about that? Is it Valnamore?
Because also think, right, for aside from summoners, okay, the creatures you're able to use in the backline, is it easier to manipulate speed, or is it easier to manipulate damage output for your team?
Speed or damage output? I think it's easier to manipulate speed.
Yeah, especially with blue.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true. Where should I put vampire? Look at this play. I'm going like life leech, life leech, life leech, life leech, life leech. Everybody, it's equalizer. So the Agor is going to get. See, I should put the Agor in the back line because the melee can hit from any position, but he's got the taunt anyway, so it doesn't matter where I put him really. I got tons of life leech. The Agor is maybe not the best play. I could go, you know, I could do like a double strike. I could do another. I've got magic, so I could go dragon. Man, there's too many choices here.
Someone says Valdemort can be easily countered. And I don't know if you know how to counter Kitty, but it's burst her down. When you start getting rid of the utility of that tank healing, it's like, all right, yeah, I'm going to provide extra healing to my tank. Oh, but my tank's just dead. So now what am I healing? Like 6 HP monsters? 2 HP monsters? Like, come on. How you get around that extra value that Kitty provides with it is just to burst her out.
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah, and I've said before with speed, the interesting thing of speed is if you can survive your opponent's speed in the first round and you are coordinated in your slowness can actually be an advantage. Like if you have 6 monsters that are all punching at 1 or 2 speed, but they have to land their shots. So, you know, you're looking for magic, or you're playing in the context where all melee and all archery hit regardless. That's one of the rule sets. But if you in the right rule set, you know, 6, 9, 10 speed doesn't really matter. You want to, what matters is having that killing blow. And sure, speed can allow a killing blow, but sometimes you end up picking fast monsters that are glass cannons with 1 hit point, and if they don't kill the opponent in the first round, second round, they lose. The 1 mana monsters, the glass cannons. And so speed is amazing, but being slow can be its own strategy.
Yeah.
Can we win this? Let's see. He doesn't have any giant killer. He doesn't have any no, I think we maybe could win. I have 1 heal. I have 1 resurrect. This guy has a resurrect at higher levels, but I must be renting out that copy. This was a bit of a mistake, but it was a panic at the last second there because I took out. What I did was I put in Usher Constantia in exchange for like 1 low level magic monster, and then I had too many mana. I was too big, so I think we win this. What do you think, Jim?
I don't know. I'm so invested into this
Conversation.
into the poll right now. I'm not even looking at the match.
Yeah, we got this one, guys. Big time. All the life leech with this dude. Check out the life. I got 4 from the Ancient Lich damage. I got 3 from the Venari Bowsmith. I got 3 from the Black Dragon. I got. And those 3 are all life leeching every time they hit. And they started off because of the equalizer with like 17 hit points. They're gonna have 100 hit points if this went long.
Yeah, it looks good for you.
Let's see.
And the cripple doesn't matter, so
yeah. I'll give it another minute on the poll, guys. Get your vote in if you want. I would love to see what you guys think there. I think Kitty's downfall. Eli says, I think Kitty's only downfall is the mana cost. Sure, that 7 is no joke. But man, there's the times where you can play a Kitty and 1 monster. There's quite a few times where that'll work. Valdemort can be easily countered. Yeah.
And being able to use dragon, like I understand that. Having the dragon cards with the 1 splinter versus the Valdemort that is just purely blue, I understand.
Yeah. That's a good point from Yuki. Hey, Yuki, good to see you, buddy.
Shadow says, Void, Magic Reflect, Magic Silence. Yes, thank you so much for telling me what messes with Magic. Because I didn't play this game before.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can. How do you stop the heal? I don't know. Let's put on Affliction.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh,
as powerful as Kitty is, I mean, even just like some... what's her name? Mimosa Nightshade, who is not overly run, is to me a pretty hard counter. That Affliction, meaning, you can do cleanse and stuff like that, but I think the whole thing with Kitty is I know for me, I was always kind of caught off guard when Mimosa would drop, and that's one of those summoners that not everybody has it, so you're not thinking about it exactly. But then they bring that affliction in the summoner, and I don't necessarily always bring a cleanse. Dragon doesn't have a ton of cleanses. One that they have is the Diamond Dragon, I think it's called. I was just looking at it on my own lineup, but they don't have a ton. And yeah, you can get some from your other Splinter, but this is one of the only cleanses, and it's at a higher level. When we see from Dragon, that's the only cleanse from Dragon. Now with your other Splinter, you can bring in a different cleanse, right? These are all your different cleanse monsters. But if you forgot that, you're in trouble. I mean, one of your main things with Kitty is gone because of the Mimosa. So I consider that a pretty strong counter.
Yeah, I mean every single card in this game has a counter to it. Like everything. So don't be throwing out these things of, oh, this is how you counter that though, so it's not good. It's like, and so in Magic there's a thing of, oh, this card is so good, but it dies to removal, so the card's bad, right? It's like, no, it's not bad. Just because it dies to something. Or is it good as something else? But now with Lux Vega, guys, there's no better summoner, right?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm not sure yet, but I definitely think it's in that conversation for sure. I really do.
Well, let's think about it, right? If you can't use Dragon, well, I mean, Kitty's no good. If you can't use Blue, Valnemore is no good. But you can use Lux in every single thing. And everything you can't use Lux in, you also can't use Valnemore and Kitty.
Everything you can't use Lux in, you can't use Valnemore and Kitty. I see your point.
Yes. Yeah.
I see your point. Check this out. I've got Rules of Combat Heavy Hitter. I'm going to go Goblin Mech because he's got that stun. I got the Resurrect, and he's got a huge armor. Plus Grandmaster Wraith is going to help out with that armor. And then I love doing the Boatman with the repair and then doing a double snipe. And then sometimes I go Assassin, but it might be nice to, let's see. Oh, I should probably bring a secondary tank in case they bring a blast or something. Immunity would be nice on my Goblin Mech, but of course, like an immunity monster in that position. Yeah, you know, that might even though I love the Goblin Mech, I actually might have to like go Krallis. But yeah. I also want a stunner. Ooh, slow stun, slow. I don't like, this is like in the conversation here, and I think I'm going to pick it just because of the speed and the stun, even though it's not doing a ton of damage. It's going to help me with that. Now, do we quickly do Krallis? Oh, do we do Krallis? I think we do Krallis. I don't want to get
Giant killed?
Yeah. Well, Giant Kill is a thing with her. No, I don't want to get stunned and therefore heavy hitted.
I get you.
But I lost. Yeah, we'll see. Let's pull let's end the poll here. End poll. I did see that Kitty was 47% about a minute ago, and a couple late voters got in there and pulled Kitty up top with 52%. And Valnemore with the 16 is like right there with Archmage. You know what though, guys? I have to say I think. Oh, these might be fighting words, but I feel like you guys don't really know how powerful Valnemore and Archmage Arias are because you don't play with them. Like most people don't play with them. You've seen Kitty a million times, not just maybe you rented it, but also you played against it so much. I feel the amount of games Valnemore and Archmage get, you either don't play against it or you haven't enjoyed it. Because man, they win. I mean, if we like the Summoner Lab data, like if you just look. Oh, hang on. They're all legendary, right?
Yeah.
Let's look at higher levels. Kitty's certainly amazing. No doubt about it. And I think she probably wins. I'm not disagreeing with you guys there, but I'm disagreeing with probably... Oh, I'm off a little. I thought this guy got a much higher win. To be honest, I'm used to seeing around 75%. Let's see. 56 battles. It's just so low that
there's just 87 of those in circulation total. Yeah. So
These are cards, if your opponent doesn't know they're coming, I mean, they're so nasty. And
how many games does Kitty have?
270. So
okay.
Quintuple the number of Archmage and like triple the number of Valinor. But
isn't it double Valinor? Valinor is 150.
Was it? Yeah, you're right.
150. Okay. I mean, there's also a thing of there's double the amount of kitties as there are Valinors as well.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not saying I disagree though. I do think I ultimately agree with the suggestion that Kitty's probably the best. That's a different conversation though than the one that we started with, which was do the untamed cards valuations go down in the future? Because one conversation is Kitty the best? Probably yes, but then does its value go down? I think yeah, but not significantly, because I think there's going to be buying pressure and then land and stuff too. So, you know, but would you then, a third topic, all related, you got $5,000. Are you buying one kitty, or you radically transforming your entire deck and maybe buying land and buying one of those nodes for $1,200? And you know what I mean? Like, it's like one thing to say Kitty's the best. It's another to say I'm not, like, I wouldn't buy it for that price. So the price could certainly, I don't know, who cares if it comes down, goes up. Like, it's kind of just, even for me, it's kind of out of the conversation at this point.
At the end of the stream, after I made like just arguing points for Valinor, I was like, but if someone were to give me either a max Kitty or a max Valinor, I'll take the Kitty.
Mm-hmm. Check that out. My Boson ate the first shot from this Chaos Dragon. Oh no, it didn't. It took a blast. I thought it took the direct shot and didn't get damaged due to reflection shield, but no, it didn't. Putting in work, man.
Dude, that card is so good.
This one?
Yeah.
Of course. I'm getting gobbled up though. Like I don't see how he's nerfed my archery. Good. I'm not dropping stuns. That's part of the problem. If I had maybe dropped a stun in the first or second round, we could have maybe taken care of a Jinchwala here, but no, we're Dundee. And I'm missing constantly. He's got slow, he's got blind. This card is nasty, dude. Chaos Dragon.
He's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one's over.
You know, I hope one day they make a card for me. It doesn't even have to be a summoner. All right? I just want a regular card.
Okay, guys, I think I'm going to need to wrap up here pretty quick. I'm going to have to make lunch for the kiddos. I've probably got about 10 minutes. If there's any last minute conversations, Jim, that you want to talk about, or you know what?
I think I'm good.
Quickly, there's two things that I want to talk about. Okay. I wrote down before we started. There's the proposals. One, the Burning Chaos Legion pack proposal, which appears to be passing in just a few number of hours left. And there's a DEC for Stones proposal. And I get the feeling that that's a bit more controversial. I'm in support of it, but it's so early. It looks like we're just right there and it could fail. I guess I'm in support of it. First, let's talk about Chaos. This looks like a done deal. We got, you know, a good margin of error, I would argue there. And then also, we're just 18 hours out. It looks like we're going to be burning Chaos Legion packs. This is interesting, man. This has, like, I think significant ramifications for the price of Chaos Legion packs in the future, and they're below $2 again. I saw Tails do a video the other day, which if you guys didn't see, is pretty interesting, about how some bot farms are like repricing. They're gimmicking the marketplace by putting these massive buy walls on the marketplace for certain key epics from the Chaos Legion, which then drive up the value, like quote unquote drive up the value. They're not really buying them. All they have to do is buy one copy. If you come in here and you reprice, if you come in here and you offer to buy 600 copies of a Chaos Legion epic, you can create, look, 400. This person's offering to buy 400 copies of the Insidious Warlock at 25 cents. That essentially makes the floor 25 cents. And then what happens is that process can drive up the number, the value of each Chaos Legion pack, because the math is based on the last sell of each card. And so that's a gimmicking that they were using in his mind to, to sell Chaos Legion packs for a higher value. And I think he's probably right. That was pretty insidious, I would argue. No pun intended. But man, Chaos Legion, like, the price appreciation, I think this is gonna help. Like, it's not gonna be overnight, but this is, to me, like a really exciting. I don't want to see anything burnt, but I think we missed it on how many we put out, and we currently have too many things out there. And unless the team wants to come out and say, we are not going to list Rebellion, we're not going to list any new pack until these things sell, which I don't believe they will. That's part of my concern. I think they're gonna list Rebellion next summer. And
no, they've been stating that they're not going to have multiple like main sets out at once.
Good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So that in part is why they want to clear the books of these guys that just haven't moved. But I don't know. I'm for this. I think this is a positive thing for the long-term appreciation. I hold a lot of Chaos Legion packs. I hold a lot of Chaos Legion cards. I want more of them, but I also want to see Rebellion. I want to move on to the next thing. I'm excited for that. And moving forward, go ahead.
I was gonna say, why are you for the Bloodstone ones?
Because I just want to have access to, like, two things. One, I want to be able to buy. I actually can't buy the Power Stones yet. I forget which one I can buy. I can buy one of them and not the other one, with my guild. And let's have a quick peek at that. Guild buildings. So I can't buy both of them. Which one is it?
Store.
We're at level 6. Info.
Oh.
So we can't. We'd have to go up to level 8, which we need to upgrade our hall. That is like financially a huge, like, out of the question right now. But. And I know that I've heard tales and I've heard others say there's so few people that this would benefit. But I actually don't care how many people benefits. And I don't care that it doesn't benefit me directly. Like, at least the stones don't, or the one half of it doesn't. Okay. But the part that does, first of all, I want to be able to buy those without spending my merits, because I actually, I want to get more gold foil. I want to get more gold foil cards. I want to be able to improve my own gladiator set. And so if I can use DEC to acquire what used to require merits, then I can get more Gladius packs, and that means I can improve my gladiator deck and brawl better. So, like, that personal opportunity for sure is part of this conversation. Some people would say, like, but let's think about this from like a public standpoint, not just your own personal standpoint. Sure, okay. From the public standpoint, I see it as a beneficial because there's just too much DEC. And even if this is a nominal, they have kind of implied this would be a massive burn capacity for DEC. I actually think I'm with Tails on this one. That's a red herring. It's like it's
not massive.
No, that would only really become massive if we truly ascend in our stores and in the guilds start really developing their stores. And I think we're months or even years away from that really being a thing. But every little thing helps to me. And when we get to a place where there's not, like, we will get to a place where there's not enough DEC, and every one of these little decisions is helping us get there. And when we do, I think that's so good for the burn mechanics around SPS, which is so good for the payouts from the rank battle, as well as the brawls, because we're getting SPS. So we want those SPS prices to go up, but they will only really go up as we start to diminish the amount of SPS that exist. And that'll happen when DEC starts rising. So that's why. And I think this is a small piece in that puzzle. That's why.
Okay.
What do you think?
When I first heard of it, I was excited about it because I thought they were just going to completely remove it from the level requirement. Except that's not the case. And so now it's just like, all right, well, if it happens, I just don't really care as much as I did. And so I want it to go through because, again, like, any form of dump is perfectly fine. And when we get to that point, I'd rather save the 10% on merits rather than use it. Or yeah, I'd rather save the 10% on merits and use DEC to go ahead and buy it.
I see Oscu doesn't like it. He goes, BS proposal with the DEC for stones. It should have been vouchers. That's an interesting suggestion. But I just think, I feel as though, even though I think I want to see more utility for vouchers, and they've talked about how they're going to bring more utility, I think they've also said in a big way, I think they've almost screamed from their, their position of, from the mountaintops. They've pretty well screamed, DEC has to get back to peg, it's everything. And so I feel as though the mission has been really clear, and in that targeting, it feels like this is like one small thing on that pathway. I get some of the concerns that no one here has raised, but I think Tails raise, and I think it's fair. It's like you're talking about such a niche benefit to certain guilds that have been here. Like really, you almost might argue it's like the OOGs, or like the developers themselves, like the guys who are the first to play this game and first to build guilds and first to dump DEC in. I don't see that as a problem. I mean, those guys were here first. My guild has been here a year, pumping in, building our guilds, building our buildings, and I'm saying we're probably 6 months or a year away from being able to, probably a year away from being able to get the store up there, maybe even 2 years. Because it's not just the store, it's the hall, and then it's the store. But we aren't going to focus on that too. So it's not just the hall and then store. It's like right now we're focusing on the arena, because you guys know the ability. If we can get into tier 4, you're going to be really set apart, earning a lot more rewards. But we're probably 12 weeks away from that, and that's a ton of money, by the way. Like, so you're talking. Where are we now? We're right here at level 6. We're gonna need,
oh my goodness,
like we need a ton more DC here and crowns there, and then all the other things. So even high guilds that have been here for a year are a long way away from being able to really take advantage of that new proposal. I don't know. For me, I still think it's a good thing to find ways to burn DC though.
There is one reason I'm like against this proposal,
okay?
And not because it's the idea around it, but because this is such a small change that, again, 90% of players just don't care about. So it's more of like they put out this kind of dumb proposal that wastes time, and it's just like, this is just something you could have just changed. Like, just do it.
Very niche. Like it's niche in its impact, niche in its like, in its impact. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like you could have used something else here.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think this is almost like, I wouldn't so much care if this failed. This is one of those, it's kind of like vanilla. Like I think it's probably for the best. I'm going to support it, but I feel like it's kind of a whatever proposal versus the other one about the burning Chaos Legion packs. That to me feels, gigantic.
That one, 4.
Yeah. And the proposals we've seen recently, even those that we downvoted, like some of those felt really, really big. Like the DEC for Rift Watchers, that felt enormous. And so this one it's almost a breath of fresh air that this isn't, the stakes are kind of low on this, because it's been a lot of tension lately around some of these proposals. But yeah, if this was to fail, I would be like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, Jimbo, I'm going to wrap up there. My throat's starting to hurt. I got to make the kids some lunch. Guys, if you're enjoying this and you've been here for the whole time and you haven't dropped a like yet, please do so. I saw the last time you guys did the like spike, the number of concurrent viewers went up by 30%. So YouTube started sharing it with other people as a result of you guys doing that. So if you enjoyed the content and you like what we're doing, appreciate the thumbs up and subscriptions too. And guys, just thank you so much. I will not be live tonight, Thursday. I will be live tomorrow on Splinterlands TV with Jim, I think. Jim, you there?
Yep. Okay. I'll be there.
So tomorrow night, Jim, we are an hour earlier at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because the Splinterlands TV schedules everything in UTC, and in Canada we have in America you have the daylight savings. So we're 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow night, Friday. So come hang out if you guys want on Twitch. And guys, as always, thank you so much for your time and attention. Really appreciate you guys. Have an amazing day. God bless.
Take care.
Thanks, Jimbo.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Get over here. Stream and